This just got a little bit twisted and even more sick. The real reason that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are bringing their children, Archie and Lily, to the United Kingdom next month is not because they want to have some lovely meeting with King Charles, who they have deprived from his brethren for all this time. It is rather as a PR stunt to unveil their faces to the entire world and start bringing in the moolah. That unveiling likely to happen on Friday, July the 10th, I am told. However, the couple are expected in the days beforehand to pressure the king and other members of the royal family into a PR meeting. Then they are able to go back on the years of rhetoric about the fact that they would never show off their children like William and Catherine. But can we just start, by the way, and we've got Paula Frolic Uncensored with us today to unpack all of this. She has written the inside story into what is really going on here. But can we first just celebrate the fact that the PR plan didn't actually work today? Because I'm going to show you the front pages of all of the British newspapers today. And Meghan Markle and Prince Harry believed that they were going to push Catherine, the Princess of Wales, making her return to Royal Ascot for the first time since her illness, off the front page. And as you will see, that failed miserably. And indeed, it failed miserably because we love the authenticity of Catherine, a royal who we relate to, like in this adorable moment when she told this young girl at Ascot, she can see her.
Aww, that's cute. I can still see you.
Or when a very delighted William had a joke about his beloved Aston Villa.
Oh, thank you.
William, up the Villa.
Oh. I think people are saying that now. Are you? Good season. John McGinn.
Or when Catherine ever so respectfully curtsied to the King and Queen in a way Meghan Markle never would. So that's why I tell you this is not going to work. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to unpick this plan and what they are trying to do. And you know, yesterday I revealed how all of this announcement was set up by the Sussex's new favoured journalist Bronte Coy. She is an Australian who they got to know on their recent visit on a Sun podcast with our friend Tom Sykes, who revealed that the UK trip will be the unveiling of the children's faces. Then we get to the establishment Times that were also briefed, I believed, because they followed the same line that they're hopefully going to have a meeting with the King. Although they did admit that relations are strained at the moment between Charles and Harry. They said Buckingham Palace has not responded to reports that Harry and Meghan will bring their children to the UK. There are no plans in the diary for Charles to meet Harry alone or with his family. The news from Harry's camp, however, signals the Duke is hopeful he will have police security reinstated for his visit. A decision on Harry's security, which was due earlier this year, has yet to be reached. There have been years of legal wrangling over the security provision in Britain. The Daily Telegraph actually had the most detailed briefing from within Harry and Meghan's camps. Harry has told friends in the US that he is excited for his children to reconnect with his grandfather, even though we know that there is no confirmation of that meeting. And they then quoted an LA-based business associate who said there had been a warming of the frost between the Duke and his father in recent months following divisions in the wake of Prince Harry's attacks in his memoirs Spare and television interviews. The source said, Harry says he's coming back before the end of the year with the children with the express intent to reunite with his dad.
All right, this story is getting a lot of attention, and for good reason. A new claim is making the rounds suggesting that Meghan Markle's real reason for bringing Archie and Lilibet to the United Kingdom has nothing to do with family visits, royal connections, or even tradition. According to this narrative, the goal is something much bigger: introducing the children to the public in a way we've never seen before. That's a major claim. So today we're breaking down what's being said, what's actually known, and whether this theory holds up under scrutiny. Let's get into it. So right away, the video presents the idea that Meghan has a hidden motive. And whenever I hear phrases like real reason or what they're not telling you, I immediately want to know one thing. What's the evidence? Because there's a big difference between a theory and a fact. This is one of the most common patterns in royal coverage. A headline starts with a bold conclusion. Then the article or video works backward to support it. But before we accept any conclusion, we need to know where the information is coming from. Is it based on direct statements? Named sources? Official announcements? Or is it interpretation? Let's be honest. Archie and Lilibet have always attracted enormous public interest. And that's not surprising. They are the children of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. They're connected to one of the most famous families in the world. What makes this situation unique is that Harry and Meghan have generally chosen a more private approach when it comes to their children. We've seen carefully selected photographs. We've seen occasional appearances. But compared to many royal children, public exposure has been relatively limited. And because information is limited, speculation tends to fill the gaps. The less people know, the more theories begin to emerge. Now let's talk about the part of this theory that focuses on image. Some commentators believe that any future appearance involving Archie and Lilibet would instantly generate global attention. And honestly, that's probably true. The question isn't whether people would pay attention. The question is whether attention itself is the goal. Those are two very different things. Just because an event creates publicity doesn't automatically mean publicity was the primary motivation. And that's an important distinction that's often lost in these conversations.
So, Paula Frolic Uncensored, what we have here is very much the establishment and the MSM briefing on this, but you have been looking into what this is really about, and you believe that actually this isn't altruistic on the part of Harry and Meghan. There is a commercial motivation behind this decision more than anything else. Tell me what you have been revealing, Paula.
Well, first of all, Dan, we have to say that what's actually going on here is yet another one of Harry's wish lists. It's Harry and his sources close to Harry telling the news exactly what Harry wants to happen. And he's often disappointed. Again, he has said in the past that through friends and sources that he expects to get security any moment now. That was in January. He still has not got it. Will he get it for this trip? Absolutely, because he's given them 28 days notice as per the agreement with the Queen. Nothing is going to change. There's already people coming out now and saying, Harry's got his security. But they're not understanding. These are two different things. Permanent security where Harry could pop over every 2 seconds unannounced is not going to happen. They still want the 30 days, and he will get it because he is bringing Meghan and the children. That's number one reason. Number two reason they're coming is, as you mentioned, emotional blackmail. He needs to get back in with the king, the real royal. Now, I love how people are saying, oh no, his schedule is not cleared. I've been reporting that for over a month, saying that King Charles, as of now, literally has no plans to see him. It's very difficult. And as for this thaw, I'd like to see where it is. I think the thaw is in King Charles's heart, where he wishes he could, but he understands reasonably he cannot. Dan, at the end of the day, if there are any photos, Meghan is going to sell the outfit. She may even start selling the outfit of the children. We don't know.
And you say Buckingham Palace is very concerned about that, Paula.
Oh, gosh, yes. Because literally the number one thing they cannot do is merchandise the monarchy and sell it. Not to mention, the other thing is you look at someone like Kate, who has literally stopped naming which outfits and designers she is wearing, partially because of things like this and Meghan's shop my. So, they also need the royal sheen, as we have reported several times over the last year. Hollywood is off the Sussexes. The invites are not raging in, if you will, and the deals are not coming in. And they need to be seen as royal again. But once more, for the cheap seats in the back, Dan, it's not going to happen because who's to say there won't be a reality show with the Duke and Duchess in California? Who's to say there won't be Meghan's book? Who's to say there won't be another project or an interview where she says, and then when we met with them, I was so hurt, and the tears come. We know that both of them are very friendly with the press, and we know that they are not shy of telling their truth, whether it matches up with anyone else's.
Is Tom Sykes right, Paula, that the children will be unveiled on this trip, whether it's official or unofficial? Because this is always the calculation that I have tried to work out with a visit. How on earth can you keep the children not pictured if they are meeting members of the royal family, if they're attending Invictus Games events? Would the British press really agree to that? Don't know. Maybe because we have this press organisation called IPSO, which is pretty strict. But I'll tell you who won't. The social media guys, the citizen journalists. We won't be signing up to any type of particular deal with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, given that these two children remain, I think, ludicrously in the line of succession. So do you believe that they acknowledge that if we come to the United Kingdom, the faces of the children are out there? I mean, they can't do a whole Michael Jackson thing, can they? Do you remember when he used to bring the kids like blanket and you know, and they'd be sort of covered up in masks or veils? They can't do that.
Well, they've done it before. I mean, they have come for the Queen's Jubilee and nobody saw the children. So they could actually bring the children, hide away, maybe at a Soho farmhouse, or, you know, that's another question. Where will the family be staying? So they don't necessarily need to unveil the children. And if they did, it would be just the most striking act of hypocrisy we've ever seen on several levels. Number one, they keep telling everyone else, don't put your children up on social media. Number two, they are saying they want their children to find their own way. But then again, it would be bringing the children into their family business of Archwell, which they've already, you know, hinted that they are willing to do.
I mean, come on, look how much we see of that girl there, Paul. I mean, seriously, it's no different having her at Invictus, is it? Which I think secretly is what Meghan wants. It's like, I'll come, Harry, if you allow us to put the children out there, because you know that once that's done, she can then merch the children for her commercial ventures, which is what she's actually wanted anyway. So she's getting what she wants.
Well, she's also going to say, look, Harry, look at these lovely photos of William and Catherine and their children. All their faces are shown, and they're in the business of the monarchy. So what's the difference? There is I guess, a case in her mind to be made for that the Wales children are selling the monarchy and supporting the family business, the firm, if you will. So I believe that is likely what she is using to sell it to.
Yeah, because also, Paula, if they want goodwill from the British public, which is going to be very hard, no matter how much Meghan says, oh, I've got this thick skin and the British people are good. It's like, we don't forget, you know, I said yesterday, we don't forget that you called us racist for voting for Brexit. We don't forget that you called the late Queen racist. We don't forget that you called the King and Catherine racist. None of that is forgotten. But if they do want any type of goodwill, Paula, I put it to you that they would have to be stupid to bring the children to the UK and then hide them away. Like, maybe the only way, I still don't think it's easy, I still don't think there's going to be goodwill, but maybe the only way for there to be a modicum of goodwill is to say, okay, here are our children, British public.
Well, I would put it differently. I would say maybe a modicum of a chance that they won't get booed. Because nobody will boo a child.
Yeah.
And we know that they
Although the Republican mob did over the weekend.
I mean,
but no royalist would boo a child. I agree.
No, and they are widely loathed. If you look at public opinion polls, Meghan and Harry are still digging the ditch at the bottom. So I think that is the only way they will go. Now, again, I do not believe the friend of the Sussexes that say Meghan has a thick skin. She absolutely does not. It is paper thin. So this is yet again a way to manipulate the media and the public.
Paula, you say in your latest edition of Paula Frolic Uncensored that Prince William is so dead set against it. So
Oh yeah.
this is Charles, if he meets with the children, going against William's wishes.
It is, but let's have a little compassion, okay? I don't have children, but if I did, I would want to know their children and assume that maybe I could have an influence on them, and maybe they would be different from their parents. Listen, every grandfather wants to meet their grandchildren or get to know them. Does anyone want to be in a room with Meghan again? Absolutely not. Does anyone really want to ever be alone with Harry? No. So is this a way to meet the children? Yes. I think that King Charles, from what I hear, and I do, again, even though I live in America, I have very good sources, say that, yes, he misses Harry. They miss Harry the way Harry was. It's like what Mike Tyndall said. Yeah, I knew Harry when he was fun. And they miss the old Harry. Nobody misses Harry since 2000, the Harry that started in 2019, unfortunately, or 2018.
Very good point. Very good point. There is a lot about this that surprises me, Paula, because let's just be honest about this. If it had been a journalist who was involved in doing this in some way, they would absolutely be in court. There would be no doubt about that. Now, what we don't know is Catherine, the Princess of Wales, is a particularly forgiving, lovely person. Did she maybe say to the police, I really don't want to pursue this? You know, the woman has lost her job. She has been struck off. I don't want to pursue this criminally. That is certainly a possibility. But what I don't like about this, Paula, is the secrecy involved. Because I'm sorry, I still have huge suspicions, as I did at the time, that this person may have been in some way involved in the Sussex squad. And the problem is, how do I know? How do I know? There's a cover-up. You know, I don't know the woman's name. I can't research her connections. I can't research who she was working on behalf of. And I don't like that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think, I don't know. I would presume, because I remember when it happened, there was talk of Catherine's condition. There was also talk of somebody trying to sell the medical records at the time. And there was also talk of the person saying, well, I needed the money. So I'm assuming because, you guys don't pay your doctors and nurses the way we do here in the States. Then again, you also have free healthcare and all the other stuff. But I know that it's not a lot, and it was probably a craven move for cash. Isn't that usually how it always goes in these kind of things? You know,
I just don't know though, Paula, and I'll tell you why. Because the mainstream media in this country have had to clean up their act. Because you will remember all too well the despicable illegality that went on at organizations where I had worked, but I was always very clear I was disgusted by it, horrified by it, had no idea about it. And those people rightly went to prison, right, for accessing medical information, for phone hacking the royals. It was a disgrace. So I do not believe that the mainstream media was involved in this at all, that they were offering to pay, because trust me, if that were the case, we would know about it. We would know if there was any type of journalist involved. So all I'm saying is, who has the motivation, Paula, to pay a lot of money? Well, I'll tell you who. The people who were working against Catherine, the Princess of Wales at that time, spreading this false narrative. So that's all I'm saying. And of course I don't know. But when there's a cover-up, I'll never be able to find out. So what I'm saying is we will never actually know if the person who was either, say there was a financial incentive, we should know who was offering the money. Okay. And we will also never know who the healthcare worker is. So that's all I'm saying. I don't believe this was the mainstream media offering money for it, because if that were the case, that person would have been exposed.
No, it sounds to me like it was kind of a sting. And because so many people were interested in the story, and it sounds like it was a sting. But I agree with you. I do think I'm confused as to why there aren't criminal charges being pressed. I mean, this made the hospital look horrific, and it really damaged the hospital's reputation. So I do agree that there must have been someone stepping in and saying, all right, done. She's not going to do it again. She's lost her job. We'll keep it moving.
Another part of the discussion revolves around the royal family. If Archie and Lilibet were to spend more time in the UK, some people would naturally view that as an opportunity to strengthen family connections. We know there have been public reports of tension between Harry and certain members of the royal family. We know there have been disagreements. We know there have been periods of distance. But we also know that family relationships are complicated. And sometimes the public only sees a small fraction of what's actually happening. It's possible that any visit could have multiple purposes at the same time. Family reasons, personal reasons, practical reasons, and yes, maybe public image considerations as well. Real life is rarely driven by a single motive. Here's something worth thinking about. Why do stories like this explode online? Because they combine three things audiences love. When you combine those ingredients, you create a story people want to click. And that's not necessarily a criticism. It's simply how modern media works. The challenge is making sure we're separating entertainment from verified information. Because sometimes a compelling theory remains exactly that, a theory. At this point, let's focus on the facts. And that's where the conversation becomes interesting. There's a lot that people believe. There's a lot that's been reported. But there is far less that has actually been confirmed. At the end of the day, this story may say as much about public fascination as it does about Harry and Meghan themselves. People remain deeply invested in this family. Every move is analyzed. Every appearance is discussed. And every rumor becomes a headline. Could there be strategic thinking behind future appearances? Possibly. Most public figures think strategically. But claiming to know someone's secret motivation requires evidence. And that's where viewers should always stay skeptical. So, what do you think? Do you believe there's a larger strategy behind these reports? Do you think the media is reading too much into it? Or do you think the truth is somewhere in the middle? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one.